Live from the ABC7 Broadcast Center, this is ABC7 News at 5 on your side.
Hold on, it's gonna be loud! It's gonna be loud!
Right now at 5, the search for answers after a local company's mission for NASA explodes into a ball of fire and debris moments after liftoff from Wallops Island. New tonight at 5, we are hearing from the man who shot that video, and it's quickly been racking up 500,000 views on YouTube.
It comes as we learn new details about the investigation and what was actually lost in the Antares rocket explosion. Brad Bell first showed you that video at 4, and now he begins our team coverage live from Wallops Island. Brad.
Yeah, Allison, I'm standing in the spot pretty much where that man was last night, the visitor center at Wallops Island. And he was looking across this bay, this marshland, to the launch facility. It's about a couple of miles away, but everyone who was standing here felt what happened, figuratively and literally. Spaceflight enthusiast Matthew Travis has attended dozens of rocket and shuttle launches. As always, he was rolling video last night. Right away, he noticed something wasn't right. The Antares rocket was ascending slowly.
Then it just stopped, and the bottom blew out.
Oh, God.
His amazing video captures that moment of terror as hundreds watched the rocket explode.
We could actually feel the heat from the explosion at the viewing site, which was a couple miles away.
The private Orbital Sciences Antares rocket, 17 stories tall, carrying supplies to the International Space Station for NASA, was just 6 seconds into its flight when a massive failure prompted launch controllers to detonate the rocket for the sake of safety. Thousands of pounds of liquid and solid rocket fuel exploded in the night sky. The rocket and its payload, a total loss.
There was a lot of enthusiasm and confidence going into this mission.
Baron Beneski, spokesman for the Northern Virginia-based Orbital Sciences, says it's far too early to know what happened. So far, only aerial surveys have been conducted over the blast zone. They revealed the only good news in this massive failure.
The launch complex itself doesn't appear to have suffered the kind of damage that we were fearing it might have.
There will be no more Antares launches until this catastrophe is explained. That could take days or even weeks. Space photographer Matthew Travis says for him, the shock still hasn't worn off.
I felt like crying, and it's hard to watch the video.
Well, a lot of people share those emotions. These are the bleachers that were jam-packed last night with spectators for this launch. All of them left here feeling pretty sad about what they'd witnessed. Now, coming up at 6, we'll have much more on this investigation. The area where this explosion happened is still considered a danger zone. So far, they've only been able to look at it from the air. At Wallops Island, Brad Bell, ABC7 News.
Okay, Brad, thank you. Now, one more note here. Amongst the 2 tons of supplies and experiments bound for the ISS was a special delivery from Maryland astronaut Reed Weissman. Maryland crab cakes. Yep, just yesterday afternoon, NASA Chief Charles Bolden apologized to Weissman for the delayed launch of the Cygnus spacecraft. That rocket was supposed to launch Monday night, but the mission was scrubbed by that sailboat that was in the restricted waters near Wallops. Weissman, who is set to return home in 2 weeks, sent out a tweet early this afternoon reading, "Not every day is easy. Yesterday was a tough one." It included a picture of a sunrise as seen from the ISS.
A lot of us feel for Reed Weissman. You know how it is when you have your taste set for something?
I know. He's just going to have to wait.
Gonna have to wait. Well, also destroyed in that rocket explosion was an experiment by some D.C. students. Horace Holmes is live at American University tonight to tell us about what was lost and how the students are reacting to it. Horace?
Leon, I'm in the physics lab here at American University. The students' experiment that was on board was in a container just about this size, and in it, tubes like this filled with seeds and soil and fertilizer. They were excited. They were at the launch pad last night waiting for the launch, snapping pictures, but this is one picture they didn't expect to take.
5, 4.
Eric Day, Megan Kimball, and 2 of the students from the NASA DC Space Consortium program were watching just about a mile from the launch pad at Wallops Island last night when suddenly Day shot this video from his telephone. Kimball had her still camera and was standing next to one of the students.
I just started to turn to her to say, "Congratulations, Mary Ellen, you're going to space." And that's when we saw the bright flash and knew that something wasn't right.
Kimball clicked off shot after shot, capturing the intensity of the blast, the horror of the explosion.
And the first shock wave was just a little bit, and then the second one, as you've seen in my video, it blew me back. I mean, it was just intense. The heat, just the sound of it.
On board the rocket, among other things, was the experiment the DC team of students had worked on for 7 months. They had won a nationwide competition, and the intent was for astronauts on board the International Space Station to test to see if they could grow chrysanthemums in zero gravity. The experiment and all their work came crashing down in flames, but everyone's immediate concern was for the well-being of those at the launch pad.
And we didn't find out till about 20 minutes later, when we were listening to the radio coming back and on the internet, that NASA had accounted for everybody and that nobody had gotten hurt.
My first thought was to bring it back to Challenger, and it was pretty poignant to find out that these students weren't even, well, to realize that these students weren't even born yet when Challenger exploded, and so this really is their Challenger.
It's a wonderful point, and some great pictures that were taken last night by that DC team down there at Wallops Island. They will start again. They will put their experiment back together, and hopefully we'll have it on the next launch. Reporting live at American University, Horace Holmes, ABC 7 News.
Okay, thanks, Horace. Now, despite yesterday's setback, the U.S. space program moved forward with another launch this afternoon. An Atlas V rocket successfully blasted off into orbit from Cape Canaveral and was carrying a GPS satellite. The ABC 7 web team has compiled the best of the videos from yesterday's launch explosion at Wallops Island, and you can find all of that and every update on the investigation right now on WJLA.com.